Good afternoon, students. I'm Mrs. Hangma Mochahary, your science teacher. I hope you all are doing good. In your last class, what did we learn? Can you remember? Okay, in your last class, we have learned about agriculture, how did it all start, and modern agriculture. So today we'll be learning about crops and their classification. So before we talk on this topic, let's discuss few concepts of crops. So Phil, what do you mean by Phil? You should be knowing this because I've already given you the assignment. So the field simply means the land where plants are cultivated and crops. Crops are the same kinds of plants being cultivated on a large scale. And crops are cultivated where? It's cultivated in the field. So you can see the connection between these two. Field is the land where plants are grown and crops are grown in the field. So now we'll discuss about classification of crops. What do you mean by classification? Classification simply means is the arrangement of things into groups in the ways that they are alike. Alike means the same kind. So if you observe carefully in the classification word, you'll see classify. Classify simply means to divide. So uh, let's discuss the first classification of crops, that is based on products often. When I say products, what do you mean by products? So product simply means we get out of what we make, or we can say we get the products out of what we produce. For example, like if you want to harvest rice, we don't get directly to harvest rice, isn't it? For that we should grow paddy in the right time, the right season, and then only we get to harvest rice. So our input is what is rice. So this is the products what we get out of what we cultivate. So here you can see some of the common crops. The first one is cereals. The products are wheat, rice, barley, corn, and ragi. And the second one is pulses: gram, peas, beans. And root and tuber crops include sweet potato, tapioca, potato. The next is oilseed crops, includes mustard, groundnut, sunflower. So we all like to eat sugar, isn't it? So sugar crops includes sugarcane, sugar beet. And the plantation crops, coffee, tea, rubber, and coconut. So tea, Assam is well known for tea, isn't it? And the last one is fiber crops, that is jute and cotton. So our second classification of crops is based on season. So do we get to eat fruits like lychee and berry throughout the year? No, right? We only get to eat all these fruits only in a particular season. So can you guess like what are the fruits that we get during this current season? So we get to eat watermelon, mango, and so on, isn't it? And then these crops are also classified based on the season. They are classified as kharif crops and rabi crops. So we'll look on to kharif crops first. So kharif crops are also called as summer crops. So basically these kharif crops are grown in the summer between the month of June and July. And when are they harvested? They are harvested by the month of March or April. So some of the examples of kharif crops you can look on the screen. First one is rice. This is very common for us. And the next is groundnuts, cotton, and pulses. So our second classification of crops based on season is rabi crops. So we can also remember rabi crops as winter crops. So basically these crops is grown in the month of October and November, and these crops are harvested during the month of March or April. So you can see some of the examples of rabi crops on a screen with beautiful pictures. The first one is wheat, mustard, potato, and peas. So our third classification of crops is based on life cycle. So what do you mean by life cycle? Life cycle simply means it's the series of changes and development that is passed through from the starting point of its life and until its death. So let me explain it in a very easy way. For example, in plants, its life cycle starts right from the seed that we show. After that, it will grow plants, and when it grow bigger plants, it will start giving flowers. After that, they will give fruits, and then they will die. So the whole series of changes and development that occurs in the plants is basically known as the life cycle. So all the plants doesn't have the same life cycle. Based on their life cycle, again it is divided into three types, that is annuals, biennials and perennials. So first we'll discuss about annuals. So annuals, it basically takes one growing season to complete their life cycle. So annual simply means it occurs once every year, isn't it? So some of the examples of annuals are wheat, rice, and corn. So the second one, crops based on life cycle, is biennials. So it takes two growing seasons. Two growing seasons simply means it takes 2 years to complete their life cycle. So in the first year, this particular biennial crops, they store their food in their roots. And then the energy in the foods means which they have already stored in the first years, is then they use to produce fruits and seeds in the second year. This is like in the first year, simply you have to remember is that first year they store their food in the roots, and second year they use that food to produce fruits and seeds. So example of this biennial crops is carrots. So our third classification of crops based on life cycle is perennials. So this kind of crops basically lives more than two growing seasons. Two growing season means more than 2 years. So it continues to grow more than 2 years, and then they continue to produce seeds. So example of these crops are apple and banana. You can see the beautiful picture of these examples. The first one you can see apple and banana. Thank you students for your kind attention. I hope you understood what I have explained to you, and I also want you to study on topic agricultural practices, that which we are going to discuss in your next class. Thank you.